This is Kimon Onuma and BIMStorm Enlighten. This session is on Project Generator from Program to BIM using Excel files for the BIMStorm. On the Project Generator tab under the Program to BIM website, there's instructions on how to actually use the Excel files to generate a project. Scrolling down, there are some sample Excel files that we are going to actually use for the BIMStorm, 3 different project types, Type A, Type B, and Type C. Type A is a simple Excel template that you can actually edit and upload. Type B and C are machine generated from the SEPS system, program requirements for a clinic, and an adjusted one for a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers hangar. So let's take a closer look at the Excel files. Type A, we call it a simple format because it is actually easier to view and there's less data on it, and so you can actually edit it manually. There are 3 tabs on each of the Excel files. Tab A is about the project information. Tab B is the actual project rooms, the room content. Yellow is required and white is optional, and there are multiple tabs you can scroll through and take a look. The main ones are the project room names and the room codes that call up a prototypical template with actual spaces and equipment laid out. So it's kind of a prototypical template that is stored on the server. So for example, a medium classroom will bring up that classroom. You can change the square footage on this as well too. So you could say for this particular classroom we actually need 1,200 square feet, for example, and you can even change the room name. But these room codes are pulling off of a database of prototypical rooms of that type. The intent is that you can even add additional rooms if you wanted to. So you can actually copy an entire row and paste it down in here. The only thing is that you do need a unique ID for each one, so this one would be 1017, and you can still call up the room code of that type. So it's calling up similar room types for that particular room. There's occupancy information and ceiling height in inches. Tab C is left empty for this particular template. We're keeping it simple because the actual room content or the equipment is being called up from the room code itself. Let's look at Type B. Type B is an actual machine generated from the Space and Equipment Planning System of the clinic program. If you look at the second tab of Type B, you'll see the similar information about spaces, GUIDs, and a lot of other data. Even though you can edit this, you can actually go in and change the square footage, for example. We don't recommend actually editing a complex document like this, since this was created from a tool, the Space and Equipment Planning System tool or database. In tab C, on the third tab, you can actually see the project room contents, all the equipment that goes inside that space. The significance of this is that the Space and Equipment Planning System can actually auto-generate this Excel file, and the user on the Space and Equipment Planning System side can actually specify that additional space or additional equipment is required before the Excel file is generated. The third type of project is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers aircraft hangar. We actually took PDF files from the Corps of Engineers website that are public, and we converted the PDF data into a machine readable format. So we took it out of narratives and tables that were embedded in PDFs and actually generated a program requirement based on the Space and Equipment Planning System. We actually use an Excel file to auto-generate this as well too, to help us organize. So there's an Excel file that was used to actually say what kind of spaces do we have, what type of equipment's in each space, and even add other types of equipment. And from this, the Excel format for the Type C for the aircraft hangar was generated. So these 3 Excel files can be used to upload to the Onuma system to generate a project through the Program to BIM website. That would be the third step here, which we have in other recorded webinars on how to do this. You select the Excel files, upload, and it generates the first version of a BIM for the program requirements.